Welcome back to episode 2 of turning my $100 Mercedes into an AMG Hammer.
For anyone new here, I picked up this car for $100 on the condition that I could make it run. It was broken and headed to a junkyard, and these cars aren't worth anything. But I realized that with a little bit of hard work, you could turn this car into an AMG Hammer, the legendary 80s luxury sports sedan that was faster than a Lamborghini Countach and had 4 doors to haul around all your hoes, which is why it was a total pimp mobile. A real Hammer is worth close to $1 million, but we're gonna build one ourselves for a whole lot less. In fact, so far we are in cheaper than a set of rep wheels right now. And with 40 years of technological advancement, I plan to make this car much faster than a real one. So the first thing I did was do a little tune-up and got the engine running. Then we realized that the transmission was acting up because it would only drive in reverse. So I pulled it out and found that the B2 piston snapped in half. Unfortunately, this means it needs a full rebuild, so we did just that and put the refreshed trans back in. Then we started the fun mods like coilovers, lowering the car, some monoblock style wheels, the Euro headlight conversion, and restoring a few little parts here and there.
I know it's been a little while since the last episode. We were just waiting on parts. But one of the big things we're doing today is kind of refreshing up the interior, but changing that exterior paint. We gotta go dark. You know what they say, once you go black, you never go back. I know some people might like the current color. To me, it reeks of old grandma. We need something a little more AMG, a little bit more spicy. So something dark would be good. So we've got a metallic emerald green wrap that we're gonna be putting on the car. So let's bang that out. And in some angles, it looks black. And in certain light, you can see a little bit of that dark green shine. Our sponsors, Aluco, hooked us up on this wrap, so let's get to wrapping.
I'm not very good at wrapping cars, so we took our time with this one and redid any panel that didn't look right. In fact, we've been wrapping this car for the last few months, one panel at a time in between our many car projects. We have about 10 cars at the moment, which is a great reason why you should subscribe and check out our other builds.
Okay, so it's been a little while since we last started the wrap. We kind of just have been doing the wrap while working on other cars like the LS Swap Jag or working on the M6, which we've been running and driving, and it's phenomenal. And then of course I bought another Mercedes, a twin turbo V12 Mercedes, but it's time to get back to the AMG Hammer build. And I want to kind of go over a few things with you guys real quick, but quickly, we've been wrapping it this blue and just kind of, it's really supposed to be like a dark metallic green, but in some angles it's green, some angles it's blue. It is what it is. I'd like to one day paint this car. It's just paint is very expensive. In California, a good paint job is between $15,000 to $20,000. So until I have, you know, money just flowing out of every orifice of my body, you know, a wrap will do fine for now. They don't last forever, but it'll work. So we've done some things. I did some trim restore on the grille. Got that back to shape. Okay, let's talk about the motor going into this thing. So obviously to make it a Hammer, it needs a V8. And I know my old barbaric way of thinking was like, let's just LS swap it. That's not as tasteful as it could be. You know, we're doing an LS in the Jag, which you'll see very soon. We're being very meticulous with that. It's, you know, very complicated to LS swap an old Jag, a lot of components. There's only one motor that would be proper for this car, and that's a compressor motor, baby. Yep, the supercharged V8 motor. It's like in like the E55 or SL55. That's what's gonna go in this car. Now that's a lot of money, that's a lot of time, that's a lot of effort. For most mechanics, you know, they could do it in a set amount of time. For my dumbass, it would take about 3 times the amount of time. So that will happen, just not yet. When I have like an abundance of money and time and I could really dive into that, we'll be putting a compressor motor in there. But for now, this 3-liter engine is the million-mile motor. I mean, most 300Es have the 2.6-liter. This one luckily has the 3-liter, so it packs a little punch, and you know, these things go indefinitely, like forever. Like you could literally blow a head gasket and drive another 100,000 miles. Like it's crazy. These things are like absolutely bulletproof. We just put a brand new rebuilt transmission in, so we're gonna run this for a little while until I have the money to do a proper swap. As far as the rest of the car goes, we are continuing that AMG Hammer body. We're gonna finish this wrap right now. We're gonna just bang it out. We got the roof, we got the hood, we got both fenders. We're doing, you know, right now the pillars, the doors, a lot going into a wrap. Ideally, I'd like to paint it, but for now the wrap is gonna have to work. So another thing I took care of, got the little Mercedes logo on these monoblocks. So these are the Alzor wheels. ECS sent them out. We put them on in the last video. They look great. It's the monoblock. It's got a good amount of dish. With the back spacing, it sits it out a little bit further. It would probably fit a little bit better with maybe like an E500 fender. It works for now. I like these wheels a lot. They're great. They're high quality. I really like the look of them. Okay, most of the car is wrapped right now. Just got a few panels left. So we're gonna change the steering wheel. It is current steering wheel right now. It's a bit dated. I'm not a huge fan of the design. I do like the W140 steering wheel much better. And I have this one hand built in Eastern Europe. So they did a really good job. I got a different airbag that'll fit. So it's basically, we got leather and then suede on the side inserts. And then it's got some kind of a design on it. But it feels really good. It's high quality, like Alcantara. You know, the stuff they put in Lamborghinis and, you know, nice AMGs, modern AMGs. So this will help transform it. First thing I gotta do is remove this steering wheel. So let's disconnect the battery. Battery's disconnected. Okay, step one is to just remove the airbag, just like that. Don't want this thing blowing up. Okay, so this is a task for only the strongest of strongest people. Luckily, you're watching one right now. So just boom, like that. These things are like impossible, but I'm just so strong that I definitely did not, you know, use a giant 3 feet breaker bar right before this shot to get it loose. Okay, we'll pull it right off. There we go. Okay guys, let's put the steering wheel on. Looks pretty good. I marked it, so hopefully that's straight. Boom, there we go. Steering wheel is on, airbag is on. This is a much better looking one. The suede feels nice, feels expensive. Overall, I think a much better added improvement to this car. That AMG HAMMER is coming along great. This nice metallic color, which originally was supposed to be green, but it looks blue to me. But in certain light, it looks like an emerald green. You know, I want to put that compressor motor in so bad. I don't have the money for that yet, but part of me is also like, they do sell turbo kits for this car, and you know, it's a lot of work adding a turbo to something like this, but that would be fun too. Just, you know, this motor is great and all, but you know, around 200 horsepower, well, that's not that much. So, you know, maybe I'll get that wild hair up my ass and say, fuck it, you know, do something crazy with this. So let me know in the comments down below what you think we should do to maybe boost the power. Okay, so next up for modding this car, we've got a brand new piece because this one's all cracked and chipped. We're gonna be putting that on, but first, we're gonna get rid of the shifter. As you can see, this one's gone limp on us. No, actually I bolted it. This is just really ugly. If you look at it, like what were they thinking? So I bought, and this is from, I believe, Turkey. This is a Zebrano style wood grain shifter. So it looks much nicer than the old one. As you can see, both of them compared. This one's a little bit bigger, but it makes a whole lot of a difference because, you know, you do a lot of playing around with the shifter when you're in the car. So this goes in, and I just gotta fish it through here, and then I gotta get it into that bolt right there, which is now moved. So of course, while I'm replacing the shifter, I also decided to pull up the radio because we're putting a new one in. Now this one finally gave out on me, it stopped working. We fixed it last time in the last video by putting a new fader switch, getting it to work again. And then of course, a few drives, radio goes out. I'm gonna keep this one because I'm gonna try to get it rebuilt or something. But while we're waiting, I got this little Continental one. This one was like $100 and it has Bluetooth and it looks original. And it's supposed to just slide right in. So I gotta wire it up. You know, radios are like the easiest thing. If you're a car guy, radios are like the simplest stuff. So slide that thing in and then we should have good Bluetooth radio that looks original. Okay guys, I had to basically run all new wires to all the speakers everywhere. And you know, while I was doing the rewiring, I said, oh, might as well just LS swap it. So that's exactly what we did. We got a brand new LS swapped in. Just kidding, actually. This is the intake manifold off of Lenny's LS swap. If you could see, this has been months in the process. Tens of thousands of dollars have gone into this build, and it's absolutely insane. I mean, so many different sponsors, so many great companies coming together for a 500 horsepower LS swap Jag build. I think it'd be really cool if we could supercharge it later, but this video is gonna come out soon and you're not gonna wanna miss out on it. This is our SEMA build that we're building. Hopefully it'll go to SEMA at the end of this year. This is something that we're really, really close to being finished with, and you're gonna love it. But anyways, I had to rerun some wires in the car. Okay, so I had to pull the rear seats out in order to run wires. So I gotta put the seats back in, tuck all the wires underneath the carpet, but 2 brand new speakers in the rear, The speakers up front are brand new. That radio system looks great. So let's put some stuff back together. So this was my old wood trim piece. As you can see, cracked, looked terrible. Well, luckily for us, our friends over at Adsit hooked us up with a new Zebrano wood trim piece. These pieces are nice. If you're trying to restore any Mercedes with OEM parts, make sure you check out Adsit. I'll put a link in the description down below. They're the ones who hooked us up with the transmission rebuild. You know, what really started this project. So we would not be here today building an AMG HAMMER if it wasn't for our friends over at Adsit. So make sure you go check them out. For full-blown restorations or just parts for your daily driver, they have it all. This is gonna look great in the car, so let's go put it in. Okay, new radio's in, work sounds great, it looks stock, it looks original. We got the new shift knob. Now for the final touch, this nice wood trim piece. So we go like this, set it down like that, and it should fit easily right there. Put it right in here. Okay guys, that looks a whole lot better. You know, the nice radio, the nice Zebrano wood shifter, and then the entire trim piece looks fantastic. So this is the old carpet piece. It looks disgusting, looks like a bunch of food and droppings had got onto it. I got a new piece right here, nice, to match that Palomino interior. So let's go put this in. There we go. And look how nice that is. I mean, so far, we're restoring this car and making it look just as good as it came from the factory, if not a little bit better. So that's in. I mean, it feels like it's a brand new car, even though it's over 30 years old, which is just crazy. Now let's pull this piece off, because I got a new one. Okay, next for the car is the armrest, because the armrest that's currently in the car is really cracked, and every time I put my elbow on it, it scratches me. So I bought a new one. It's actually used, but this one is in like near perfect shape. Looks like it could use a little bit of some leather conditioning, but it's pretty much good to go. So let's go pop this baby in. Okay, the new one's in. This is the old one. It's all cracked and just in terrible shape. So that one will be going up for sale. And this one's in, all smooth and nice. And so far the interior is getting more and more cherry. Okay, we almost finished wrapping the car. Before we do anything else, it's time to change that oil. It's long overdue, and we're gonna do a coolant flush as well. But to change the oil, you gotta pull this piece off. So just the bolts. Oh, look at this thing. Take that thing right off. What I love about these cars is that, you know, you look at it and it's like, oh, it's old German technology. This thing is bulletproof. This thing's like a tank. You could throw anything you want at it and it'll just continue to run forever and ever. In fact, a lot of people blow head gaskets in this car and continue to run. And it's not like this thing's bad and it blows head gaskets early. It's when you're at, you know, 200,000-300,000 miles and it blows a head gasket, it'll just keep running forever and ever. Like, it is one of the best inline sixes ever made of all time. With that said, I am very, very tempted to get a turbo. They sell everything. The whole ECU, the intake manifold, the exhaust manifolds, the turbo, they got a full kit. It's a little bit pricey, but these motors are so good that, you know, you could turn that thing up to 500 horsepower and you're good to go. You might blow a tranny in the process, but you know, you'll be going fast. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I should turbo this thing. Okay, just like that. Oh, there we go. All these components that you don't want breaking because it could be mucho dinero. But basically the reason I was pulling that off is because I need to get to the oil filter, which is right here. Okay, so we just take this cap off, just kind of break it loose. There you go. Just let it sit right there. Okay. I'm gonna take this cap off, pull the dipstick out just a little bit like that. Now the filter's right back here. So on most cars, a lot of German cars, you know, you have some kind of cartridge filter like up here somewhere, or if you do have a filter like that, it's at the bottom of the engine. Well, with this one, it's at the top. It's really tight. So whoever put that one on, you know, seized it on with like JB Weld or some shit, or, you know, used the strength of the Hulk to put it on. So I got a little oil filter wrench. We just gotta loosen this baby. Oh man, that's so tight, dude. thing on. Holy cow. Holy cow. That thing was on tight. You know, back in the day before I could afford a $5 tool or was just too lazy to go to the store, what I would do is I would take a screwdriver and just hammer it into the side of the oil filter if it was stuck on. And then that way you get the leverage to move it. But you know, they have tools for super cheap that make it a lot better. I don't have a drip tray, but I do have a towel. So we'll just put this right here. What is that? And basically, whenever you put a new filter on, little secret, you gotta make sure you get some oil in here. You do, and you kind of just rub this all along the side. Okay, now that this is all lubed up, I mean, I got it all over the thing, so now I just gotta nicely thread it back on. So now I'm just gonna tighten it, and just a little bit snug is all you need. It's time to drain the oil. See if we see any metal chunks in it. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Everything's so tight. It's a pretty long drain plug right there. Okay, while the oil is draining, we're gonna have a little bit of coolant flush. So I was kind of worried that maybe we'd find some bad stuff in the coolant, but no oil. Everything's good. It's clean. Oh, and there's the oil. Okay, now that all the fluids have been drained, it's time to refill the oil. Luckily, we got Liqui Oil, our new channel sponsor. Liqui makes great oil, especially for German cars like this, or some of the many BMWs that we own right now. So I'm glad we got the nice stuff to put in this car. One of the interesting things about the Liqui bottles is that when you pull it out, it creates like a little pouring device. Can I make it? Hold on. Intake's back on. We just finished filling up the overflow expansion tank with all that OEM coolant. So we're pretty much good to go. So this thing is packed filled. So brand new coolant, brand new oil, should be running in tip-top shape. So let's start it, let's take it outside, and let's go clean it. Okay guys, phase 2 is pretty much done. We've wrapped most of the entire car. The only things that aren't wrapped are the bumpers, which we're getting that AMG body kit. Now, unfortunately, that AMG body kit was massively delayed. I mean, we started phase 1 back in October. We're now into February and it's delayed. But, it's a good product. We gotta wait for it. I could go get some cheap Chinese garbage, throw it on some Temu body kit, but no one's gonna like that. I'm not gonna like that. So we're gonna just wait and be patient. But until then, we've wrapped the entire rest of the car. Now, on camera, it just doesn't do justice what this color looks like. It's like a metallic emerald green, which is pretty cool. I wanted more of like a British racing green, but I guess this is what I got. This is temporary. I wanna do a metallic black paint job. It's just, mucho dinero. We don't have that money right now. But after we do potentially a motor swap, or if we throw a turbo on, maybe I could take it down to Mexico and get a cheap paint job. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. One of my friends actually got a paint job down in Mexico, $2 grand, really good, quality came out nice. So I'm considering it. It's just, you take it down to Mexico, you don't know if you'll get it back. So that's the risk you take. So remember, this car started as a $100 challenge. My neighbor, who unfortunately is no longer with us, he gave this car to me for $100 because he wanted me to bring it to life. I asked him, I said, I'm gonna modify it, I'm gonna chop it up. He said, that's fine. As long as it's out on the road, that's what will make him happy. Now that we are where we are today, I don't think I'm ever gonna sell this car. It means a lot to me. It meant a lot to my neighbor. I'm excited that, you know, a car that he was gonna initially send off to a junkyard, you know, is not in a junkyard, but out on public roads. And we're here at the beach in sunny California. Even though it's February, where a lot of other people have to deal with snow and terrible weather, we have the sun. We also have lots of fires, but we have the sun. Okay, let's talk about phase 3. So phase 3 will come very soon. We're gonna get the rest of the body kit, which is basically a front bumper, side skirts, rear bumper, and to top it off, cherry on top, a spoiler that goes on the back. Now that AMG body kit gives it better aero, makes it look better. Overall, this car has come so far. I cannot stress enough how much I've fallen in love with this car and how much you need to go buy one. If you are a car guy or you're interested in cars and you're trying to get into cars and you're looking for a project car for yourself, the fact that you could pick these up for 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks all day long. I mean, you just go on Facebook Marketplace, go on OfferUp, go on Craigslist. I guarantee you will find one like this for dirt cheap. I've already put a couple thousand miles on it since we put that transmission in back a few months ago, so been driving it a lot. With that said, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe if you want to see more amazing content. You know, to get the rollers today for this, we use Lenny's new M5, which if you haven't seen that video, you gotta go check it out. Lenny got an M5 for essentially 7,500 bucks for a motherfucking M5 with a twin turbo V8. Phenomenal car. We've been ripping it up and down the street. We got a whole build series revolving that coming out very soon. You're gonna wanna check that out. But let me know what you think I should do next with this car other than the body kit. Let me know what you think about a turbo, potential compressor swap. What should we do? Let me know, and we'll see you in the next one.